data. Oh, there it goes. Alright. And we're going to edit this. Okay, welcome everybody to the weekly updates for the 12th of February 2023. This is for Tradelab.AI, the AI trading platform that allows you to create your own strategies and bots at your whims, allowing you to create any sort of logic that you want and manage your DCA lines, take profit and stop lines, all that sorts of stuff. Very customizable, and so we'll be talking about all the different updates that we've been doing this week. I've actually added a brand new plugin system, or added to the existing plugin system, I should say. So we'll be talking about that, going a little bit in depth on that, and answering any questions that we have. So I know that we have one question that I want to get out of the way in case anybody has to leave early, and we usually get people that come in halfway through. So I'll be doing some updates along the way. So we were talking about the reset with Lazar and or Zar. I guess there's no A there, so it can't be Lazar. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to go over how resets work and how one would create a reset and what that does. Okay, so let's start with a new strategy that's fairly simple, right? So we'll do like a simple buy and sell. Okay, now this buy and sell, it does come with multiple TPSL. Okay, so it has 3 TPs. And what we want to do is we want to reset something whenever our TP1 is hit or something like that. So to get started with this, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I understand what the goal is. So if Zar, if you could type exactly what your expectations of, I see here, and you can also chat if you got a mic. I don't know if you got a mic or not, but
Yeah, I was just on mute.
oh, okay, cool, cool.
I'm
So
here.
what is it that you're trying to do here?
Well, so I guess it's trying to accomplish two things. The main would just be to, when it hits a take profit or a stop loss, to set those in long or in shorts back to false so that it can enter a new trade. And I didn't know how to do that because it's not an exit rule that it's hitting when it hits a take profit.
Right. Okay. See, I kind of thought that that was the case, and in that case, we don't even have to talk about the utility rules and that. So you don't even need that. Let's just
Okay.
change our way of thinking for a second. So you know that you need to start the new trade with false, right? And you
Right.
know that once the trade is over, you're thinking, well, once it's over, I need to make it false. You probably have, maybe you could even have a exit rule that isn't your TP. Maybe you send an exit there, and you're used to setting your false in there. But if you hit a TP, how are you going to set it to false, right? Instead of
Right.
thinking it like that and trying to reset stuff at the end, I always reset stuff at the beginning, right? So if I'm going to enter a new trade, I'll just reset everything that I need to before the place order. Does that
Okay, that
does
makes
that work?
sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then that brings me to the second part of what I was having problems with, and that was I was having problems with the swing order
Uh huh.
command exit, I guess, and that prompted me to then create that what you see in that picture where it says in swing variable.
Okay.
Basically, if I made an exit and I say swing order, it would leave the original order open and then open a new one, and it would open it twice, and I
Oh.
couldn't figure out why it was
Oh.
not.
That's because you might have hedge mode on instead of one way mode. That's the only way that you can have two positions on one symbol is if you have hedge mode turned on the exchange.
Oh, okay, so that would be something like in Bitget, where because it's in Bitget.
Well, it is in Bitget, but you can also go over to settings and go to risk management and you should be able to set it with this
Oh,
checkbox.
okay. Yeah, I never
Now, I
even saw that
assume that
part.
it would be set on, but if it's like from what your behavior sounds like, this should be checked. However, it comes unchecked, and if you're unaware of it, I wouldn't assume that you checked it. And so, if that's the case, you might want to go check it in Bitget to see what it's set to. And if we aren't syncing this on our side, like if this is unchecked but it is checked over there or whatever the case, then let me know, right? And we'll sort of figure out why that's not synced because it should be synced.
Okay. I'm looking right now. In the Tradelab part, it's not checked, but
Okay, yeah. So we'll have to then go to Bitget and see if one-way mode is on or off. So one-way mode is if one-way mode is on, this should be unchecked. If one-way mode is off and hedge mode is on over there, then this should be checked.
okay, I'll check on that.
And if one-way mode is off, then my theory is right and that sounds correct. If one-way mode is on, then I don't know how you got two positions on the same symbol, and I gotta ask Bitget how that works because that's unlike any other exchange. So, all right, so good there. Yeah. So any
Hello?
other? What's up, Miles?
You all can hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
sir.
God. My computer's like totally fried. I keep getting blue screen over and over.
Oh no.
Weird things are happening. Like I can't hear anything half the time.
Oh no. It's not good.
Yeah. What's wrong?
So, any other questions on that? Do we want to go over resets? Does everybody sort of understand how utility rules work and resets work? Anybody want to see that while we're here? Okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway, we'll go over. Oh, let me check chat. I think we got chat somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe that was somewhere else. But yeah, so if anybody doesn't have a mic and you do want to participate, you can use the voice chat, or you can chat in general, and I'll try to see it there as well. Okay. All right. So let's go over some updates that have happened this week. Learn about some of the new systems that have evolved. So the first big one is the plugin system. I talked about this last week in the update, but it is now ready and live on production. So I'll just go through some of the steps to get started with plugins and what plugins can do. So if we hit the plus button on the plugins page, it'll allow us to select a service. So we can do Twitter, Discord, Telegram, external APIs, and also if this, then that. I'm also planning on adding a Pine connector right here. I'm working with a couple people who are interested in that. Other services might require other subscriptions. This is a free service, but you can also make it a paid service and get extra stuff. Pine Connector is going to be a paid subscription. So obviously, that's your own thing. And we don't have any partnerships with these guys. I'm just doing integrations so that you can connect stuff, right? So if you want to do that, that's cool. And anything that I don't have a connection to specifically, you can do it yourself with this external API. If we have a lot of people who want a particular, thing, and we see a lot of people using this for one site, we could make a button for it, right? And so, yeah, so let's quickly go over how all this works. We've had inputs for generating alerts for a long time, right? So you can send a tweet and generate an alert off of that tweet. You can invite our bot on Discord or Telegram and send an alert in that channel, and it can listen for it and generate an alert from that. And so usually you click on Twitter and you end up getting this, and we might type in whale calls or something, and it'll pull up the example messages, and then you know, go through and you would build your system, right? But at this point, with plugins, we now have Discord and Telegram and the external have different modes. So when you click Discord, it'll ask you if you want to do input or output. So input is what we just saw. You would make a example and then break it down with a parser. But the output allows you to actually send messages to Discord whenever a trade is opened, trade is closed, or whenever you get a TPSL or DCA hit. Okay, and so you can customize that message. You can, you can even add references to it. So you can come in here and say, I want to send my entry price, right? This doesn't add it here. Okay, I got to take a look at that. But I know it adds it somewhere else, so I'll show you that here in a second. That is strange. So if we also take a look at strategies, send messages, and we can select custom instead of all, and we can say, hey, these different strategies here are going to go here to included to send this message, and these are excluded, right? And we can select all of them at once. We can remove all of them at once, that sort of thing. Okay, and then you can select what type of messages that you want to send here. If you want to add the Discord bot, we have the instructions to do that up here. So you can invite the bot by clicking here. It'll open a new tab, and you'll log in. I don't know that I have my stuff saved, so I'll have to log in here. Hold on 1 second. And switch this over. Give me a second to get into Discord here. Just logging into Discord. 1 second. 1 second. Hey, Miles.
What the hell are you doing, Miles?
Yes, what's happening there?
Beating someone up.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute Miles, and I'll ping him and say that I muted him.
I think he had enough with that computer.
So this is what happens. So now that I'm logged in, you would follow these instructions.
We don't see your screen.
Oh, yep. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so bad at that. It was only 2 seconds that I had to do that, and I already forgot. Okay. Here we are back. So now that I'm logged into Discord.
And also the YouTube stream.
Yes, I did the YouTube stream. Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
But
It's
thank
like
you. Thank you. So, this is what you would do to set up Discord. You would follow the instructions at the top. We would say invite the Tradelab.AI bot by clicking here. So you go here, and that's going to bring you to this page where you can select a server that you own. Okay. So this bot has to be invited somewhere that you can invite a bot to. So if you have signals sending from another place that you can invite a bot to, we do have the ability to sort of proxy that over using your own account. So if you're invited to a server that other people can't get into and a bot can't get into, you can use your own user token inside of a bot, basically, and you can run a script that can sort of transfer that information from that channel that you're listening to over to the bot in a channel that you control, so that the bot can do what it does. So yeah, in order for Tradelab to do what we do, with the messages, we have to listen with our bot, right? So we got to get the messages to the bot somehow. If the messages are in a place that you can't get them to the bot, we can work with you to get those over. So I don't have that script public yet for Discord. I know Mr. Nobody has been using something similar to that, and I think it was written in Python, and I'm basically going to be writing it and integrating it into my sort of thing. Now, I believe it's something that you're probably going to have to run on your own machine, or maybe we can do an authorization through Discord. Maybe, I think, but I really don't know yet. We got to be secure, right? So I don't want you guys giving me more permissions than we should, right? And so if that's the case and you need to proxy stuff, we may have like a little downloadable server that you run and just have to keep running when you run Discord, right? Something like that. We'll figure it out. But if you have that problem and you're interested in using this, contact me, right now, and during the time that I'm figuring this out, and we'll build a solution together for everybody. Okay. So I would select my server, I would enter my Discord auth code, and then I would click continue, and that would bring the bot into my Discord server. Okay, once the bot's in my Discord server, I can go into any channel that I want and make sure that I bring the bot into that channel. So anybody who knows about Discord should probably know that you would get a specific role for the bot, right? And you would give it permissions so that it could see the different channels that it needs to see. And then from there, you would go back to Tradelab, and you would open up Discord, go to a channel that you want to send you want the bot to send messages in. Okay, so we're gonna send the messages in this channel that I have selected right here. Okay, and then we're gonna say add plugin. Okay, so I could copy this, and you could do it like this, but I don't think it quite works. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't want to do it. So what you got to do is you got to type in slash, and then as you do it, it selects the thing. So on your when you do this, you only have one, and it'll look like the Tradelab logo. I have a test one here. Ignore that yellow test one. That's something that I'm doing. But the Tradelab logo is, that's what you want. You do add plugin, okay, and then you would grab this. So what I need to do is I need to make it where it's just the plugin ID up here. So I need to modify that so that it's easier to type. And so if we do ID right there, we can put in our ID, and if we want to do a quiet bot, we can say quiet. And so what quiet means is if I hit enter, I add this plugin, it's now registered. Anytime that we send it something, if this was an input bot, we could get it to remain quiet and not send me back the alert created every time that we hear something. Okay, this is giving you the link to the alert that it created, showing you that it worked, right? But you can turn that off with quiet, okay? But for an output bot, that doesn't really matter. We don't want it to be quiet, right? So we're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna see that we registered this plugin with this channel. Okay, so that's our success message. Okay, so we're good there, and then if we go back here and follow the directions, whatever events, select whatever events to trigger a message. So right here, these events are going to trigger a message, and then select whatever strategies that you want this to happen for. I'm just going to select all, and then you can edit the strategy and add a plugin action if you want to send a custom message. So if you don't want to just send these messages, if you want to send a message specifically when your TP1 is hit and you move to break even or something, you can customize that message. So we'll hit save, we'll go to my strategies, and we'll add a new strategy here. I'll just edit this one, and if I wanted to say whenever I increased my position with my long pyramid rule, that I'll do plugin. So I'll add an action, I'll say plugin, and then I'll select my plugin that I have. I actually didn't name it. It's just Discord by default. But there's my Discord plugin, and then if I click on options, I can put entry price. So it actually did work, but it wasn't showing in that box. So I need to go figure out why that box wasn't showing. But these are the references that I added earlier. Let's say that I wanted it to send my new, well, entry price is actually really good because we're just doing pyramid, right? So pyramid, entry price, and then maybe the current price as well, right? So maybe we add the current price to that, and then we can also add headers if we have extra headers that we need to add. For Discord, we don't need that. Could probably actually hide that for Discord, and hit close. And so now we have plugin. Our current price is going to be sent over with our options, and it needs to be Discord. Interesting. I think it's because of the way that I modified it. Okay. Interesting. Yep. So so we got the Discord there for output. We can also do other plugins. So we have our external API, and we got Telegram as well. So the Telegram works much the same way. If you go to Telegram, you can do input or output. We've had input for a while. If you do output, we can basically go through and do the same thing, right? We have a different link up here for inviting a Telegram bot. And it is slightly different, so we have some explanations on how to actually add the Telegram bot to your group and get them in there. Same sort of thing, you are going to have to invite it to wherever the messages are being sent. If you need to relay that, I'm sure that that's also possible with Telegram. I haven't had anyone do it yet, but I'm sure that we could figure it out, right? So we also have the same messages over here, the same options as we talked about, and so that's Telegram. You can do the same thing in the rules as well with the Telegram plugin. Okay, and then finally, one of the more exciting ones is the external API. So this is brand new, input and output. Excuse me. So the way that this works is this gives you the ability to call any sort of endpoint that you want. So if you have a particular data endpoint that serves, you know, the weather information, or it serves, you know, information on, you know, when the next time Apple is going to release their CPI report or something like that, you can insert that URL here, and this is just an example, and if you hit get examples, it will grab all of the information. This is actually sort of a terrible example because it's a bunch of gibberish. Test rest. That's not what I want. Just want like example data. Like this is what I was using, but I need like example data HTTP. this is it. Yeah, fake data. Okay. So I found this earlier, but I couldn't quite figure out where it was again. Okay. So if I use this, I go back to here and I put this in here. If I get examples from here now, we'll have, some emails here. These are like user information, right? So it's not the greatest example, but at least we have parsable information here. And so we can grab this and I can turn this into different alerts, right? So right now, this is all one big message. And I can actually parse that into new lines by doing new lines here. And then if I have, I think spaces 2 might help. Well, it is one message, right? So if I had multiple messages here, we could break those apart, and then so what I'm also working on too is more and more options on how to break these things apart. I've just been working on a couple new delimiter cases. You can add regex to your delimiters now, so you could actually break this apart via these are actually different parts of the message, but what I should add is a new way to break apart one message into multiple messages using a delimiter. So that would be interesting. So basically you can grab information like this, and then you can assign it to different fields, right? So I can click on these and assign it to different fields, and then I can hit save, and it will pull all of that into one alert. And perhaps maybe we could generate multiple alerts off of one data pool, right? And so once we get that sorted, we hit save. And to use this, we go into my strategies the same way that we did before. And we would add, a particular plugin, external API that we can send a particular message for, right? So we could say, hey, I want to send, actually for a get call, you wouldn't send a message most of the time. Sometimes you would, but it really just depends on the get call. So like this one, I don't think we send any headers or any body because it's just a sample call. But this is where you would do that if you needed to. And then you can basically call that particular plugin here and then save. And once this runs, what that's going to do is it's actually going to call that get endpoint and turn it into an alert. So it's going to call this endpoint, and then that data is going to come in as a second alert. So you have an alert that comes in that's maybe a volume alert or an alert for checking your TPSL or something like that. So if that alert comes in, we can also tell it to go pull this data and generate another alert with this extra data. Okay, and if you want to consistently pull that or on a timer, we could do that as well by using our timer stuff right here, right? So we got a heartbeat speed now. So I was just discussing earlier with somebody, you can make a new rule, or I could just convert this rule to a utility. Okay, now this rule will never run unless I go up here and I type in, say, 15. So every 15 minutes now, this is going to run, and I could have it then grab this external API, this call, and it would generate me another alert that would run my rules again. And then I could have rules that look for that alert and say, hey, I can process this just like normal, right? But this could be on a timer, and we could say every 15 minutes pull that data, right? So that's how that works, and that's fairly exciting there. And then the other exciting part, we're still not done, is the output. So that's all for input, where you go and get data from somewhere, and then you use it, right, as an alert. What you can also do is you can send information to somewhere. So you could go say Pine Connector, right? And we could send certain messages to MetaTrader, and we could make it open trades for us, right? So this is something that I'm still playing around with. There's a little more to it than that. You got to be able to like actually move the strategy from from not open to open state, even though there's no exchange connected and all that sort of stuff. And I'm working on that, but this is going to allow us to use Pine Connector. It's also going to allow us to use any other system to send alerts, to send notifications. I know some people have been wanting email notifications, right? So email notifications is something, it's like, why don't I just build that in? Well, I will eventually when I get around to it. But now you can set up your own email notifications and for free. So this is what I did for IFTT. So I built in an IFTT setup, and you can actually click on this right here, and I give you all the instructions on how to set it up. So you click on that, you click the documentation button below, and then you would get your key right here. So you get this key, and I don't know if I should be showing this or not, but I'll turn this off, I guess. But you get this key, right? You go through here, okay, and once you get that key, it asks you to put it in this box. Okay, so you just copy that key, put it in the box. Okay, and then we do add back to service. So at the top, back to service here, and then press the create button. And I need an R right there. Whoops. So if we hit the create button, we can now start creating our applet. So we say search for webhooks and select the top middle. Okay, so if we hit add and search for webhooks, okay, and we end up selecting the top middle. Now it does say if you plan on using a JSON message, you can select the JSON option. Okay, so that's up to you. If you want to use JSON, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just select this one. Okay, and then you might want to type in whatever event name that you want, and you're going to type that in here and also an IFTT. So I might type in Tradelab email. Can't have spaces, right? So I would take that and I would put that in here. So now we have Tradelab email there. Okay, you can actually see that it's filling some stuff out for us. And there's some UI stuff that I need to do some spacing there. But now that we have that email done, we hit trigger, and then we can connect whatever else that we want. So it says select a second event. It could be something like send an email. You could save to a Google spreadsheet. And then, so then we'll go on to question 8 or step 8 in a second. But I could do like Gmail. Right, and I could say send an email to yourself, and I could hook this all up, and I actually have done that and sent myself a couple emails via Tradelab whenever a trade opened, right? And so that's pretty cool. So we can do that. You could even like I said, save it to a Google spreadsheet. You could make there's all sorts of stuff on IFTT. You could send it. I think you're even able to do a text message, maybe. Yeah. Right, and so you can send voice or send SMS, and it's by 7, so you might need to like figure out who 7 is, and you might have to get an account with them. But there's so many different things that it connects to, right? So if you got like a Philips Hue light, I'm pretty sure you could like change the color of your lights whenever you're in profit, or like make it green or red in your room, So yeah, we could do all this now, right? With IFTT, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible by setting up the plugins. And this is really going to be the same thing. So you have your URL here. For most of these, you don't even have to send a body. It's just like, hey, if this happens, then do this. So most of these, you don't have to worry about headers or body, and you don't even have to worry about the URL, because through those steps that I just showed you, I make it for you, right? And so we'll get all that set up for you, and then you just hit save, and then you would trigger it with your rules, as I've shown a couple times now. Okay, so yeah, that's IFTT and how plugins work. Any questions so far on all of that? Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, no questions? Everybody good so far?
Yeah, everything good. I was impressed by
that's cool.
that.
Sorry, what'd you say?
That's cool. I'm impressed by the last thing that you show us.
Oh yeah, the if this then that. Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah. I don't think that you've seen that. You've seen everything else. Mr. Nobody's been helping me test all this stuff. So thank you to him and Basti as well. I think has been digging into it maybe a little bit. Also shout out to Steric for helping me with the Telegram portion of it. I believe, or maybe that was somebody else. A
Yes,
couple.
Tarek, I talked
Yeah,
with
I
you.
think it was Steric. Yeah, I thought so. Wasn't sure if he was Discord or Telegram, but I'm pretty sure he was Discord. So thank you for everybody for helping test all these things.
You are
And
welcome. I have a new tool to play with.
yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. I do want to talk about something that's coming up for plugins, and actually something that I've already introduced. If we go to the external API, I don't know if you noticed this. If I hit output, no, not output. I'm sorry, not output. If I hit input, and I refresh my page, input. There we go. Look. So I added static fields, so now you can type in
Nice.
label and
Nice.
your channel name, and then my channel, right? And then if you add that, it'll add it all the time to the alert, so that you can keep them separate even if you don't have that in the message, right? So it's another thing to
Nice.
add there.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. So I
When
have,
you do this in record time, I'm impressed with
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, so I got that in. Um, so I wanted to talk about something else that's coming to plugins, which I've mentioned a couple times. Um, Timmy is going to help us start processing some of these messages. So this is a manual parser. This is what we call a manual parser. You're going to break down these messages using the fields, and it's going to put in all the fields into your alert as you want. Okay? Those are numbers, so that's why that's not happening. But if I did like a symbol here, it would add that as a symbol. Okay, so basically, this is the manual. What we're going to be adding is Timmy, which is AI powered um, uh, parsing. Okay, but it's not just Timmy does all the work. I wanted to be clear. I think I've talked about Timmy doing some of the parsing before and helping you out. And I had a couple questions come in as to like, well, how would that work, and what are we going to be able to do? So I wanted to better describe what I mean. This screen is actually going to change a little bit, and I've already started on it, but I don't have much to show yet. This screen is going to turn into a big pipeline screen. Okay, where you can have multiple steps in a pipeline. Okay, so there would be a plus button, and I could add a whole new parser. Okay, and then I could add another parser, and it could go through multiple layers of parsers. And then I could add my example at the top here, and then it would actually parse through the first one, and then hand the what it made off to the second one. Okay, and it could go from there and just build upon itself. Okay, now it won't just be these parsers; it'll also be Timmy, right? So we would have a big input box here that you can type in, and you can say, "Hey, this is I'm pulling the CPI report from Apple, and what I want you to do is find the words annual expected and annual reality, or whatever it is that they have in there, right? I want you to find those and find the values of those, and I want you to compare those, and I want you to tell me which one's higher, the reality or the expected, to see if they hit their mark. Okay, and you can tell Timmy, I want you to go and grab this information, and or I'm feeding you the information through this API call, right, or through Discord or whatever the case may be. I'm going to feed you this information, and I'm going to tell you, hey, I want you to pick out this information and tell me if it's good, if it's bad, if it's above, if it's below, if we're trending up or down. And Timmy is going to be most useful for classifications of things when we're doing this, right? So this will allow you to break things apart and then have Timmy break one particular component apart and tell it, hey, this was a good or a bad thing, right? That's what Timmy's going to be the best at, looking at a large section of data and classifying something, even giving you numbers, extracting numbers out of data, that sort of stuff. Okay, so so that's how we're going to handle that. It'll be multiple layers with the pipelines, and you'll just be able to add, if you need to run it through Timmy twice, you might be able to do that, right? I'm still experimenting with the token system and how much it costs to run all of this, and I do right now have certain limits on how many AI uses that can be used. Right now the number's pretty high and no one's even come close to it yet. But as to say, just keep an eye out there. I am going to have to do some limitations as we grow here, so I don't owe my entire house to OpenAI and Microsoft for using their APIs here. So even the model that I'm training myself, it's still running through the OpenAI architecture, right? It would be more expensive if I hosted it myself and tried to do all of that actually at this point. So surprisingly enough, but that's it really would be because I'm using it at such a smaller rate in comparison to what can be run on a large scale. So, but yeah, so that's basically the updates for plugins. Besides that, we've had quite a few little bug fixes around Telegram, around Discord, getting stuff sort of tweaked up for that. I've also made quite a few bug fixes around P&L. I know there might be still some issues. There's always seems to be issues. We're gonna figure those out, and we're still working on it. But we have fixed quite a few of them, and we're moving forward with that. I think it's important to realize that we take many steps forward, and people then see the good profit, and people are happy, with the accuracy of the profit reporting. And then I add something new that people want, or whatever the case may be, and then we take steps backwards, right? So it's this constant dance of forward and backwards, and I try to test the P&L, but there are multiple use cases for every different type of market, like spot versus spot margin, all of your different DCA cases and take profit. It does become more complicated than some people first glance at, so trying to keep up with that, and we are with the updates to the P&L this week, so spent some time on that. Also did some copy fixes, so we had some issues with bulk copy and stuff like that. I have been working on that over the past couple weeks, and I added a new feature into the bulk copy system. If we bulk copy something, we go to the clone generator. Okay, so this is how we generate lots of different clones. Instead of hitting plus here and then doing symbol and doing symbol for all these, I would have to select my exchange. But once I select my exchange and I start selecting my symbol, right, I'd have to go through and do that over and over. Instead, we can hit generate via symbol list, and I can type in BTC, USDT, Sol, USDT, Doge, you get it, right? USDT, and so on. And then we hit generate, and it breaks those down and assigns those. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to see it because I don't have, but you can see here that it actually did do that. So if I hit there, there's Sol. There's Doge, right? I just got to select my exchange. And usually you would have an exchange selected. This is probably a bad example. Sorry, guys. But that's how that works, right? So we got a new feature there for the generate clones. Okay. Just making sure I go through everything. We did have some fixes with the trade preview, right? So if you're looking at the lines, if you have different TPSL lines and all that down here, there was some issues with this, and we did fix the possible profit and the triggered loss, how much this shows with the different lines that you have. Okay. Keep a note that there's many different situations where this still won't be correct, and that's intentional. There's some situations where I've stopped drawing these at all because I know they won't be correct. And those situations are certain things like USD exact prices and stuff like that versus a 1% or 2%. If we don't have a trade open and we're in a preview, I don't know what the entry price is going to be, so I don't know where to actually draw the exact price versus the 1% that you got, right? So in those compound situations, this just kind of doesn't exactly work. But you know, the more that I think about it and come up with ideas and get feedback from people, where there's a will, there's a way, right? So we'll figure that out as we go. How we can best represent those things. I've also had a few requests from people who have come from 3 commas who really liked the DCA table. I do plan on creating a DCA table down here, and I started on it and then ran into problems with the math and trying to get things, not understanding exactly what some of the math that they were doing was. If anybody is familiar with that table and is familiar and comfortable with math and wants to help walk through, you know, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, this makes sense, but it's like, okay, well, how exactly do you get that in certain situations? Some situations may be easier than if you have, you know, some other leverage or whatever else that goes on. So I kind of forget exactly what questions I had on it. It was a couple of weeks ago when I tried to do it, but yeah, so I'll take a look at that again, and eventually we'll have a DCA table down here, sort of like 3 commas. That'll show you where all the safety orders will be, what your expected profit would be after you hit, you know, and just give you a preview as step by step what would happen. Right. So that's pretty cool. And then let's take a look at the back end. And we did have a few pretty important bug fixes and updates in the back end. Bitget didn't support one-way mode. It now supports one-way mode. I am still working on Bybit Coin M support. We used to support inverse pairs. With the V3 update, we don't now, and I'm trying to get that back. I actually tried to implement that a couple weeks ago, and when I did, we ran into some problems, and so I reverted it. So I'm going to be retesting that and trying to get that out. So we got that. So there was a couple of changes to how things save. This actually, I'm trying to prevent you saving in the builder. If you opened up the builder when the trade was not open, okay, so there's no trade open, you open the builder. Then a trade opens while you have the builder open. Whether you did it manually, whether you got an alert in, the builder was open. When you go to leave the builder, you hit save. Well, the builder still had the state of the strategy as not open. But it got open during it, but when you save it, it overwrites that from open to not open. And so we were having some things where like the trade would be open and we're tracking the trade, but then the strategy itself would say that it's searching for a new trade. And in fact, it would sometimes open a new trade and stomp over the trade that it has, causing a double trade, situation. And that all came from the fact that sometimes people were saving in the builder and overwriting that state. So we finally figured that out and went ahead and fixed that. So I got a fix in for that. I've also done some changes to the ROI and the profits. Like I said, the ROI specifically was some stuff that we looked into. We did have some issues with rate limiting at one point with Bitget, and we were able to fix that with the help of their support. So they actually told us that if they fixed it a couple times, honestly, and it wasn't fixed. But then we did figure it out and got it fixed on their end. So super shout out for Bitget for the dedication there. It took a little bit, but we got it fixed. So thank you so much on that. And then I added notifications for TPSL and for certain other errors that TPSL that I wasn't notifying. So sometimes, like when you wouldn't have a price set, I would create a log, but I wouldn't create a notification. And in those situations, people were getting confused as to what was happening. So I created some notifications for those. Yeah, so generally I think that's it. I need to do a better job of keeping and publishing a change log. I used to do that, and I've just gotten so busy that I think over the past couple weeks I've gotten a little bit laxed on it. Last week I did a good job. I had a presentation for some of the bigger change logs that I had, but yeah, I need to start publishing that again. So you guys got my word on that. I'll work on that. Other than that, I think that's it. And I've been working on the logs as well. So the custom log functions, that's gotten a lot of love recently. And all of this, adding all of this and making sure that this prints out what it's supposed to inside of your logs. That's gotten some love recently as well. So if you guys want to add your own custom logs, you can make a log event in your rules, and you can log whatever you want. So if you're confused as to why something's happening, one of the best ways to troubleshoot sometimes is just log, like, why isn't my strategy changing? My variable. Why isn't my strategy variable changing for something? You can log it in different places in your alert if that helps. Of course, you guys also got the alert history that you can look through, and usually most of the time you can kind of figure that stuff out using alert history. But just another way to do it with the logs. So there you go. Any other questions about updates or any other topics that we want to go into? Do we want to go over any workshop, sort of stuff? An example that anybody wants to see? Now's the time. Anybody got anything?
See public chat. And
Gotta love when I did such a good job. Ain't nobody got nothing to say.
do you see the public chat?
JP.
Sorry.
It's JP.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Hey, how's Alpaca coming? I know you've been busy on other stuff. I'm just curious if you made any progress there.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. It ain't good news, unfortunately. I've been working on it, and as I've gotten deeper and deeper into it, I've had to stop, and I've had to contact their support because, and they haven't responded to me. So I'm going to have to ping him again. We've gone back and forth for a little while now. I've realized that there's some liability concerns with the way that they do their broker API. Even though the funds go into Alpaca, they're still like Affirm funds, and we can like front run certain things if there's delays in the way that it's they want us to be a broker, an actual broker, and by doing those things, we would be a broker, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. This is a tool and nothing more. Um, so because of that, they have a trading API, and that would mean that you would have to sign up with Alpaca, right, and do that, and I'm okay with that. But I've been trying to get more information because it looks like CCXT is only set up for the broker API. And so I've been trying to figure out how we can go about this and what we're supposed to do, and they haven't really been responsive. And so because of that, I've been trying to get more information on TD Ameritrade and try to get that going. But of course, they're slow too, And so all these guys, they're making millions of dollars without other integrations, and so now that it's just always it's always a
Yeah, they're not motivated.
right.
Right.
So,
Well, TD Ameritrade's the big daddy, anyways. I mean, that's
mhm.
that's the one you got to get to, and bring the big retail traders in.
And so, in response to that unfortunate news, that is why over the past week or 2 weekends, I've worked on the plug-in system. You would have thought, hey, why isn't he working on stock trading? Well, I ran into problems, and so if I can do the plug-in with the Pine connector, that gets us to MetaTrader, which gets us stock trading and forex and everything. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that's pretty
work
huge.
around, right? I'm trying to work around. Now, of course, Pine connector is like $20 a month. Okay, I don't want everybody to have to spend all that money, and so I am looking at building my own MetaTrader plugin. It's going to take a little bit. It's a lot of legacy stuff and working on stuff like that. So I'm working through that, but using the plugin system here is a shortcut, right? And if you want to pay for Pine Connector, you can do that. When I do my MetaTrader stuff, it won't be a plugin; it'll be an exchange. So you'll set up an exchange, and then that way it'll feel a lot more integrated, right? And then at that point, Pine Connector will feel like the ugly stepchild, but that'll be okay. So.
Right. So, do you believe that the plug-in system can be used to integrate with decentralized exchanges and hardware wallets? I mean, is that a direction we can go with that eventually?
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah,
Oh yeah,
technically.
that was my idea. Mark it down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, technically you could. As long as somebody handled that for you, you still have to have somebody handling. But I think like DYDX, for the most part, you can give them a wallet and they can handle it for you, I think. That's the main thing is you have to call an API that's going to handle that entire transaction for you. If you can find
Right.
one, we can totally set that up, and I'll even add a quick plugin so that it's really easy to add, like IFTT, right? So let me know if you find one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check if G Trade does the Gains network. They're awesome. They're growing like crazy. I think they've got the GMX token, that's gone up astronomically because so much volume has been going through their exchange. I'll check with them. So what are the buzzwords I need to ask for or look for to find out for sure?
You need to know how to send a post or put request through HTTP, or well, preferably HTTPS. So post or
Yep.
put through HTTPS to send an order, to execute a trade, to execute an order.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
That's the main thing that we need, and then from there, I mean, since it's all decentralized and everything, we're gonna have to have a whole bunch of stuff on our end. Like we can't rely on them for the positions and stuff. We're gonna have to track all of that ourselves, right? But
Well, that particular site has 1,500 leverage of 1,500 on forex pairs. It's crazy.
wow.
Anyways, I'll stop talking.
But at that point, like, how much are you paying in trading fee? Like in not okay. So there's trading fees. Everybody thinks that like 0.06% is a high trading fee for contracts, and like it's you know it's small, but whatever it adds up, right? But that's just a trading fee. What a lot of people don't realize is when you use leverage, there's an additional fee called the funding fee.
Oh yeah, the funding rate. Sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and so think about it. When you use leverage, your what you put in $100 gets multiplied by 10. So not only are you getting charged for the trading fee for $1,000, not $100, 1,000 because of your leverage, right? So you're getting charged more of a trading fee. But then, from what I also understand, in addition to that, there's an additional funding fee on top of that. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But you have to use that amount of leverage in order to because the price movement is so minimal for those forex pairs that you need to amplify those movements so that there is some sort of profit to be made when there's a movement.
I remember when I got out of high school and I was trying to trade forex and everything. That's pretty much where I got used to doing the paper trading, and I'm like, hey, this is actually working, okay. And then I started putting my own money in it, and even after I had saved a little bit of money, and tried to start it, I was just like, this is worthless. Like I'm making like nothing, Even if I put my
Right.
entire account in like a dummy, I make almost nothing. And I didn't know about leverage back then, so that makes total sense. That was my first trading experience right out of high school. I used FXCM. Has that anybody ever heard of that exchange? FXCM. They're a nice
Yes,
little.
it's a good one.
Yeah. They're a nice little exchange. That's one that I wanted to integrate. I think. Um,
Also put IC markets on that list. Very big one.
which one?
IC markets. Yes, that one.
Okay.
I see markets.
This broker has the best trading commissions,
Oh, okay.
but you need to use their Seychelles license to get the best leverage and everything.
Wait, special license. What does that mean?
Seychelles. They have a license in multiple jurisdictions like Australia, UK, Seychelles, and so on. If you scroll
Interesting.
down on the bottom, you'll see all the license they have.
Okay, yeah, and they can do 500 leverage, 1 to 500. Spreads from pips. Your money your way. Trade in minutes. Am I missing it somewhere? Global markets, stocks. Oh, so they can do stocks and forex. That's cool. That's cool. Can they do crypto? No. I don't care. Well, they do. Okay. So I don't necessarily care about crypto. I'm not saying like I love crypto. I'm not saying anything's bad, but if they can do crypto, I'm just wondering if anybody wants to integrate them into CCXT because that makes it like so easy for me, right? And like if somebody integrates it, like that just makes it, it's like a no-brainer.
Jake, nobody will trade crypto on forex brokers because they have for a few instruments on crypto and with a
Right,
very small leverage.
right. But so this isn't necessarily like so. What I'm trying to say is like say Alpaca, right? Alpaca was integrated into CCXT. Okay, and so we can actually go to the exchange list here, and Alpaca's at the top now. So what's cool about that is that they are mainly a stock exchange, but they added crypto, and because they added crypto, they or somebody else went ahead and integrated their API into CCXT. CCXT is the cryptocurrency exchange library. It's the unified library. Okay, and the way that it works is it unifies everything, so I don't have to implement 100 different APIs, right? And by unifying the Alpaca API, not only did that give me access to crypto, but I get access to stock trading, the regular
Nice.
stock trading, because they went ahead and got crypto. And these guys are really only interested in crypto stuff. And so what I was saying is, if I could get IC coin, if to be interesting crypto wise, then somebody could come in here and make an IC coin wrapper, and then I could get access to the stuff that isn't crypto. That's what I'm concerned about, right?
Nice.
Um,
I
but
get it now.
yeah, so there's quite a few in here. I think there's over 104 crypto exchanges, and we can support any of these. It's just a matter of testing. But yeah. So that's how that works. Let's take a look at the. Please add me to the Discord plugin test team. Yes, absolutely. PJ, whatever we need to do, you let me know. It's publicly available, right? So you let me know what you want to do, and we can start hooking that up. In fact, PJ, do I have you added as a tester? I do not. You are now a tester. So for anybody who's interested, we do have a special tester community. If you want to feel special and join the tester community, I would love for you to. We have the tester chat in here. It's a special chat for whenever I push to the testnet, right? So we have a special testnet website, testnet.tradelab.ai. This is a totally separate website. You have to make your account again, a new account, right? If you make an account with the same exact email, you can go into settings and you can hit migrate strategies, and it'll pull all your strategies over. Okay, so you don't have to redo them or anything like that. And I suggest connecting like demo trading or your exchange's testnet with fake money into here with the exchanges, and then just set up your strategies and make some trades. The more people that are trading on the testnet and checking those trades to make sure that they're correct and right and everything, the more we're able to like find the bugs, and so they don't get to the actual place where the real money's at, right? So it's really in everyone's best interest to help with that, because it's your own shield for protecting what's in the money. I'm doing my best, right? We're getting more funding and stuff. We're working on getting funding. I want to hire a team that can be dedicated testers, right? That we can just pay and have that. It's worth it. It's worth it to you guys, with the money. Right now, to be transparent, we have 110 people paying, and we have more than 600 people using the platform. We are going to get some kickbacks from Bitget for some of those free users, but not everybody crosses that 50K mark for us to get any money from it. And you have to actually cross a lot higher than 50K for us to get your entire subscription, by the way. They only pay us some. And so it's, the more volume that we get, the better, right? But so we do have quite a few people using it. We have servers that have to run to support all those people, and we're only getting about 1/6 of the people paying. So that's okay, but it is one of those things that I just don't have the revenue to pay for a QA team, I guess is all I'm saying, right? And so I'm doing my best. We're creating a community here, so if anybody and everybody can help us out, let me know. I can give you the tester role, and that'll get you into this chat with us, okay? So I just gave PJ that. Yep.
Nice. Look on the public chat on Discord. There are some messages there.
Okay. Take a look here. Oh, yes, we got some messages. Fantastic. All good here, no questions. All right. Okay, so we have a question about P&L values showing up inaccurately. Looks like it's calculating one contract. Okay. Yeah, so the more information that I get about the P&L, the better that helps. So anybody here, anybody listening or watching later on the stream, if you guys have P&L issues, please go to the trade history and find those trades that have wrong P&L. Click on the timestamp. So we'll go to trades, we'll go to trade history, and we want to click on the timestamp of the trade. Once we get to this page, we can review, the profit, and we can say, hey, it's all messed up. This is all bad. Okay, so then we take this, and you just send this link to me. Go to Discord, or click the help button, and create a support ticket, and send this link to me, and say, hey, P&L is wrong. Now, what I also need, and this is very important, I sometimes get a lot of links like this, but I don't get this next part, and this next part is really, really important. If I can please, if you can please go to your exchange and look at the trade and figure out what the real P&L was supposed to be. Okay, so if you can just go to your trade history in your exchange, and it'll say, maybe we said it was negative, $5, but it was really 20-cent profit, right? So just say, real, the real P&L was 20 cents, right? And that's what I need, or maybe negative 20 cents, right? You just tell me what it is, and then that allows me to go and look up, because I'm getting all this information from them, and so I got to figure out, how I got the wrong information and what information I should be looking for. That's the most important part, right? So there's the answer on P&L. Just send me all the more information we can get. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of edge cases, right? So the more information I can get, I might fix this guy's problem, but I might not have fixed your problem, right? So that's that sort of thing. Okay, and I had an issue earlier where bulk global variables. Yes. Bulk global variables is something that has been asked about. I'll look into it. It's going to be a whole nother sort of UI system to develop on, but I'll get into that here soon. I had an issue earlier when I cloned a strategy and then it changed a currency pair, then opened a manual trade. The order for the stop loss was rejected because the variable still contained the swing low from the old currency pair, which was ETH at 1530. I was trying to trade SOL so that the stop loss needed to be like 22. Oh, right. Okay. And but in this one strategy, okay, you cloned it. Okay. And I see. Yeah, no, I mean, that's gonna happen. You just if you clone it and it's a different currency pair, the very first time that you run a new alert, it should set everything correctly, right? But if you don't run a new alert and you just do a manual trade doesn't run any of your rules. It just places a trade with whatever settings that you currently have, and since you copied those settings, the variable would still be for the old, symbol, and that's why that happened. So just keep an eye out for that. Also gotta go. Yeah, so see you, Basti. He already left. Okay, MT plugin. Yep, that's good. Do you have integration
guys,
with decentralized? Yeah, so that's a good. We talked about that. Awesome. Yes. Set you as a tester as well. All right, set you as a tester. Gotcha. What's up, Des?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Thought I'd join. I kind of missed it by a bit, but I hopped on at least a little bit.
Okay, cool, yeah. I talked about the new plugin system, so I'll just do a real quick catch-up of that. I did stream this, so if you want to go back and watch the in-depth tutorial on how the plugin system works, you can. but we now have Discord and Telegram output. So we used to have input where you could generate alerts, but now we have output as well where you can send messages to Discord or Telegram whenever a trade is open, trade is closed, TPSL is hit, that sort of stuff. You can also trigger this via your rules. So there's a new plugin action, and you can trigger that and type in your message and that sort of stuff, send it to Discord. You can also enable this for just a few strategies. So I could say, hey, just this strategy or this strategy, or all the strategies, right? So that's for Discord. You can do the same thing for Telegram. And then we also have brand new external APIs. So you can hit any API that you want, and you can convert it. If you do an input, you can convert it into a alert. So you can actually parse any information and turn that into an alert, and then you can trigger this and hit this by using a rule. So you can set that as an action in your rule. So I could go over here, set an action, and I also even showed I could maybe set this as a utility rule, and then I could set a plugin to call that endpoint that I made, and I can customize my headers, I can customize my message if I need to, and this is going to generate a new alert for us, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to run this every 5 minutes. So I can turn this to a utility rule, I can click the heart up here, and I can set this to 5 minutes, and then that'll save up there, and now this will run every 5 minutes, and it'll call the plugin, and that plugin will generate a new alert which will run through my rules again. You see what I mean? So that's going to generate an alert by calling this API call. It's going to break it apart into an alert, and we're going to send that alert. So that action actually generates a new alert, right? And it's going to run the rules again. So really cool stuff there. Lots of possibilities you can do with that. Grabbing data instead of having it being sent to us. We can grab it on demand, which is really cool. And then finally, we also have the outputs, right? So we can output things, and that allows us to connect stuff like Pine Connector. So if you wanted to send trades to MetaTrader, to do Forex trading, to do stock trading, I am still working on those things. I did report today for the first time that I had some problems with Alpaca. I've been working on it, and it's actually technically going really well, but I've run into legal issues. They basically want me to be a broker, and I don't want to be a broker. And their broker API I thought was more just a technical thing that let me act like a broker, but no, it's going to make me like a legal broker. I don't want to be a broker. So I'm trying to figure out ways around that and just be a tool and get you guys what you want. I'm still talking to TD Ameritrade, and we're getting that going. But in the meantime, I was thinking, hey, maybe not, maybe go through MetaTrader. So Pine Connector is a totally different service that you do have to pay for. This isn't a long-term solution, but for anybody who's chomping at the bit to get at it, this new API plugin system will allow you to connect to Pine Connector and do it that way. I am going to be creating our own Pine MetaTrader plugin for that, and that'll be a exchange when I finally do that. The big issue with the Pine Connector, the MetaTrader plugin, I've been thinking about this since the middle of last year, and I came so close to doing it. The problem is just what people don't realize is you're going to have to download this plugin and run it next to your MetaTrader all day, every day on your computer, or you're going to have to go buy a VPS and run it over there, because it won't be, like Tradelab is made to be your cloud trading bot, that can make trades when your computer's turned off. But that wouldn't be the case anymore with MetaTrader, right? So that was one of the biggest downsides that sort of steered me in the direction of trying to do Alpaca and everybody else. But
Well, I know a lot of people that run MT4, MT5. I mean, it's either they run it under desktop or laptop 24/7, or they get a VPS. If they run a plugin, I'm sure we could just run that on the VPS or run it 24/7 too. Because
yeah, absolutely.
The second you turn off MT4, MT5, that's it. You're done. I mean,
right.
If we need to get a plugin, I might as well just run them side by side. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's how it would work. I guess I guess a lot of the people that I was talking to, it felt like they weren't used to MetaTrader and they were more used to just
Oh,
trading online with stocks or forex, and so it was like, wait, I got to run my computer all the time now, and so, but for people who are used to MetaTrader, it's like, duh, like of course, and so
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you literally have to leave it on. That's it. Yep. Just never turn it off. Yeah.
Jake, I told you that I know a software that do copy trading between accounts without need to run the platform. I just found the software and I DM to you that, and you can talk with them. Maybe you can implement a solution like this.
Okay, let's see. What is this?
And I had a meeting with them, and they have a good service.
And this
I
is with
think also,
MetaTrader or
yes, MetaTrader, yes.
okay. Is it just like VPSs that they're just hosting VPSs. Okay.
No, they have a software that trades that. Maybe I got the wrong one, but I'm sure they have a software that copy trades
Hmm.
without the VPS.
Um. Well, okay, but where's the software running?
In their servers, you pay a
Right.
subscription or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So it's not a VPS, but it is. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I get what you're saying. There's another one. MetaTrader API Cloud Meta API. So this is actually pretty cool because there's a free subscription to this. I was actually gonna do this as like, what I was so close to doing this, and maybe I should. So the problem with this is if I do it through the Meta API, then you pretty much have to use. I have to turn everybody to this, right? Instead of just letting them run their own MetaTrader however they want. But Meta API, what it is it's a VPS hosting. Okay, and so and they even give you a free VPS, right?
Okay, but with what broker? You can choose your broker or whatever.
I think so. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried it with my own MetaTrader yet, but you can set it up and test it and try it, and they let you do that, and then I think it's like $10 if you want to do multiple. Um, so it's one free, and then I don't know how many additional 10 accounts per month. Yeah. So
Nice.
so that's how that works, and um, yeah, it's pretty cool. They basically make it to where they run it on their cloud, and then I talk directly to their cloud, and it handles everything for me. So they don't have to run a plugin necessarily. They just sort of have the plugin, and I talk to it. Don't have to make my own plugin.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's something to think about. There's a couple different ways to do it. It's just what people are interested in doing. So
Cool, cool. Good stuff.
what have you been up to, Des?
Um, optimizing the new strats, optimizing MT5 stuff, coming up with new indicators, fixing strategies, getting the bot to trade, trying to see
Really
what's
busy.
more profitable, figure out how to make a money printer, the usual.
Nope.
It's like I
I
got
know.
like 16 optimizing over here, and on top of it, my bots are firing right now. There's this huge dump that just came on crypto, so just a lot of stuff. Keeping busy.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, here I live in Texas, and here in Texas, if we get any amount of snow or sleet, everything, shuts down, and so we actually had a week this past month or so where we had, you know, quite a bit of ice on the roads and nobody went to work. Everything was shut down for multiple days. And then finally things thawed out and people got back out there and everything. And at some point I made a joke. It reminded me of what you just said with the money printers. It's like, well, sorry guys, I didn't get my teleporter ready in time for this year's Texas winter season, so we all got stuck in the house and couldn't go nowhere. Just got to work on that teleporter a little bit harder for next year.
Yep. Yep.
Alright, well, if there's not much else, I can go ahead and cut off the stream so we don't bore everybody. Is there anything else we want to cover? Anything else for people here? Alright. Yeah, so we got Quicksilver as a tester now. Yep, awesome, no problem. Basti, yep, got him. Danny, good to see you, Danny. Awesome to see you here. Haven't seen you in a little while. And Uniden, I don't care about
What's
you.
going on? My bad if you were talking to me. I was on the phone, didn't have my headset on.
Oh no, it's funny.
I missed like the last 25 minutes.
It's funny. I hadn't mentioned you at all, and as soon as you put your headset on, I was like, and Uniden. Well, I know he's good. I don't care about Uniden. Like, I was just going through everybody, making sure everybody's good. But how you been,
Yep.
buddy?
Fantastic, man.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. No complaints here. Everything's working good, and you know, keeping a status quo.
Good.
Just got a new position given to me for teaching for a state technical high school. So looking forward to that, and no more unemployment. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I remember that struck a couple months ago, wasn't it? A month or two ago.
Yeah, very beginning of January.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't
So
too long ago. So good for you. You got a job already. All right.
yeah.
Awesome.
What the hell's going on with these UFOs?
The
Apparently
UFOs.
they shot one down over Lake Huron now. Two more in
Yep.
Alaska, just an hour or two ago over Lake Huron. Like what? I don't
We got
understand.
4
Like,
now.
I mean, are we
Yeah.
risking to go to war with like aliens now? Like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Wait. I know they shot a weather balloon down from China, but
No, that's different.
There's a bunch more they shot down. They're all like claiming it UFOs. They're not weather balloons. They're not aircraft. They're just UFOs, and they shot them down. And I'm like, why are we shooting these down?
So the first one
Why?
was the weather balloon. A couple days later, North Carolina. A couple days later, 2 more in Alaska, and now today another one. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, we're going
over
to
Lake
intergalactic war.
Yeah, seriously, Jake, we gotta help you with your transporter, buddy. We gotta get that going.
Yeah. You need to teleport.
We gotta get out of here. I mean.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
You are very welcome in my country, all of them, all of you.
Oh no.
Wow.
This is bad. And the U.S. is the one that's gonna try to pick the fight with the aliens? What the hell? I always knew that was gonna happen.
F-22s, baby.
I always knew that was gonna happen. Damn it! I've seen.
Time and invest in some war stocks.
I was about to say, invest in some oil, some steel, some basic materials, because that's about to go through the roof if we start an intergalactic war.
Maybe
I don't know.
gold once
I'd
the
say
internet
put
goes
all your-
down.
I'd say put all your money in Will Smith. I mean, we gotta.
Oh yeah.
Independence Day. What was that? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, or whatever that line was at the end there. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even hear about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm reading at it right now.
Yeah.
Currently over Lake Huron now. Like what? Like why? Why are we just randomly shooting down UFOs? Like this sounds like a bad idea.
Little do we know, it's really just the US testing their own stuff, and they're trying to find a good narrative to cover up.
I want to know like what it looks like. Everything I'm reading doesn't describe what the object is.
There are some pictures floating online, but I don't know if they're old or if they're real or not, but they generally look like a pill or like a
Well, okay,
bowling
that's what
ball.
I was trying to figure out if they're the Tic Tacs. So obviously, if you look back at what was released from military footage in 2017, which was actually footage from 2002, I think. There was Tic Tac objects out on top of the sea that were floating and were darting back and forth with crazy precision that is just not human like at all, right?
Right.
And so it was just very, very crazy and creepy. And they tracked these things for a while out there until it sped away. Like it allowed the Navy to track it for a long time, right? And it just stayed in the area, and then all of a sudden it zipped away much faster than anybody, any F-22 could try to, chase it. But anyway, I'm wondering if today's objects are the Tic Tacs or not. I mean, we've actually seen other objects too, other different types of objects, but the Tic Tacs are the ones that got the closest to us. They literally messed with the Navy for like a couple. I think it was like 40 minutes. It was like an
Yeah.
extended period of time. They were just like they would show up on one side of the carrier, and then disappear as if they went off to that side of the carrier, like that way, and then they would show up on the other side of the carrier as if they went all the way around the Earth and came on the other side or something. You know what I mean?
It's
And
just
just within a matter
fucked
of
up.
moments. You know what I mean? And it's like, what the hell, dude?
It's gonna be wild. Cats coming out of the bag. Everybody with their tinfoil hats.
I'm watching a guy, apparently he's on an airplane and he's videotaping this large black object with like a trailing smoke, and it's taking turns very, very quickly. And I guess he has like video footage of it. I'm like, what have they shot? It's still flying. What the hell? Wow. So we are gonna go to war with aliens. That's
Holy
cool.
fuck. No, man.
That's cool.
I don't think that's cool.
Can I at least eat? I just ordered a rice bowl with bulgogi. Can I at least eat my dinner before I go to war? Because I'm kind of hungry.
Right.
Or at least a pizza. Yeah.
Hurry, please.
Oh, gosh.
Hurry.
Wow.
Jake, I just find another situation.
Mhm.
On one of my trades, the stop loss it's at percent chart move. Okay? And when I reach take profit 2, I want to move that on break even. But take break even will be a price, not chart move. And he will not move the stop loss to break even.
Gotcha. So you need to look at my screen and set strategy lines, stop line, price type. I believe what you need is USD exact price.
Yes.
Chart move. So if you set that now, once you set that, the very next time you move your stop line, if you do a chart move again, you got to set it back, right? And if you enter in the trade in your place order here, you got to reset the price type to chart move. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So once you change it, you got to set it back so that everything goes back to normal, right?
Okay, so when I change the from chart move to exact price.
Right. This is how you would do it right here.
Okay, I know how to do it, but when?
Well, whenever you're doing your break even, right? So if you're break even,
Okay.
if you're doing like a break even
On the first break even.
yeah, for the
on-
first break even, you would do strategy line stop line price equals current trade entry price. Okay,
Current.
this is an exact
Yeah.
price. Okay, so
Yes.
you would break even to there with the exact price. Now, the next one that happens, you would set, say, a strategy line, stop line price. Maybe you want to
Price
set
type.
it to the take line price. Okay, but take line
Exactly.
price was 1%. So if that's
No, no, no.
one,
Okay.
I'm just saying, if take line
Yes,
price
yes,
was
yes.
1% as a chart move, then you would have to also do set stop line price type back to chart move percentage, and that would
Right.
that's how you would do
Gotta
it.
flip
Okay.
it back and forth.
Okay, I run this on the break-even rule, and I need to set it back on the entry rule.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Problem solved. I mean situation, not problem.
Yeah, if you need further help with that, I've had extensive experience with that over the last month and a half with Jake.
I find this because I didn't see a red notification today, and I was so happy. And 1 minute ago, I opened my Tradelab and I see a red one.
Oh no.
Stop loss don't fill because I reached take profit too in one of my trades, and I figure out this.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I need to do some changes.
No
Man,
worries. All right.
I
So.
can wait the day when don't need to change my strategies.
Well, I think once we get the basic strategies in for most people, I think a lot of people don't change them too much. But I mean, we all know that this is an ever-changing thing. It would be
Yes.
nice if we could just get a strategy and never have to change it afterwards. But
No, no, no. I change it because it's too complex, and I find another thing and another thing and another thing, and delete,
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
delete, and
Nature of the
I run.
beast.
Guys, I need to delete, change, and redo 30 strategies, not one. Believe me, it's hard.
Oh yeah.
Eh, And I wait to have 2 or 3 changes that I need to make to worth the effort to do that again.
I hear you.
So I have 2 on the list, and I will do it tonight. Thank you so much.
all right.
Very, very good meeting. I like it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thanks, JP or PJ. He's gone, and JP stopped by. Thanks, JP.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think that's going to conclude the majority of this. I'm going to go ahead and sign off of the stream so we don't bore everybody. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been the weekly updates for February 12th, 2023 with Tradelab. If you have any questions, you can always join us on Discord. Our Discord link is at the top of our webpage, so you can go to Tradelab.AI. You can get to our Discord right here. Okay, so join us on Discord if you have any questions, and subscribe for more updates on YouTube, and leave a like on this stream. That'll help out. All right, have a good one, guys.